Let's try this again. I hope you can hear us all. Let's hope. Let me know. Sound off. Get in the comments. Let us know if you can hear. You can't hear me, probably.
Baba Booey, David Bowie, Baba Booey.
I hear Wes.
You
There's
hear
an
me?
I hear Wes.
Perfect. I hear Wes.
How about the rest of us? Do you hear
Can
the
you hear
rest
the
of
rest of
us?
everybody?
Yo.
Hey, we can hear everybody.
I'll take that as a
Perfect.
positive.
I'll take the yo
Nice.
as a positive. So yeah, awesome.
All right, if you can't hear us, it's your fault.
My wife
Yes,
here.
yes, yeah. All right. Regular size mom is our standard for tonight. Thank you for being our standard bearer tonight.
All right.
Regular size mom. Okay, so we're gonna skip the announcements, everything. We're just gonna go to a nice pared down summary. Last time on Crack the Sky Alpha, Oblivion Unit faces a skittering horde. They have deep loss as Heracles Garza, also known as Dropshot, is eaten by a giant worm. Them, not knowing what to do, make the seemingly mistaken decision to chase after the giant worm into a tunnel. After going miles deep beneath the surface of Karelia, they are found that there is an intersection of another tunnel to which there is a wooden plank with people behind it. Not taking the time to discover what mystery that is, they make their way climbing further up to the light, up to the surface of Karelia, coming up to a rocky, craggy outcropping that is overlooking the new Solidarity Coalition's main base. A fortress of metal and soldiers and turrets, with also a smaller fortress nearby that it belongs to the Six Skulls, a private military corporation that rivals Vulture Brigade in everything, including profit. What will Oblivion Unit do? What mysteries will they find on Karelia? Will all of them make it out of this mission? Find out next on the thrilling next episode of Crack the Sky Alpha. All right, we had a little bit of Dragon Ball Z exposition there for you all.
I like it.
I should do that.
Right.
I should do that every single time.
Saturday, you still carrying that C4 on you?
I sure am.
What are we thinking? We blow the mountain and get them scrambling, or try something else?
Great idea.
I have an idea though. We set up the charges, go down deep, rescue the sergeant, and when the worm chases us, in the ensuing chaos, boom, we set off our pyro and make our grand entrance and exit at the same time.
I also have a mine left over from the first battle that we can use to supplement the C4.
I like it.
All right, Astucious, where do you think the best place to plant our explosives is up here?
Ooh, that is an excellent question, Saturday. Let me calculate. I'm going to need you to make a roll instead, Saturday. Because though Astucious does work as apart from you, Astucious is also very much a part of you. So I'm going to need you to go ahead and make a roll. And if you have any skill triggers that you think could supplement that, adding your grit.
Oh, we have more grit now. 17.
17. So, assuming what you're wanting to do, so there's different variables here for you to take into account. If you're trying to start an avalanche, what you're going to want to do is you're going to try to find one of the looser bit of rocks in areas that are aimed towards the front gate, depending on where you're going to want the avalanche to drop. So they've done a good job of the fortress not being too close to any mountains or anything, except for the one that you're overlooking them now. That's the closest one. But there's no guarantee that the rocks or anything are going to cause any damage because of the dome, the shielding that they have up in place. But it might call a worm or two, you're thinking. Another thing that you could take into account is if you're trying to start a subdermal explosion nearby, you're gonna have to sneak up close to the base and you're gonna have to set it off. That means that somebody's gonna have to go in stealthy, drop the explosives, somehow wire a way to blow them up, and then get out clean if you're trying to be stealthy about it. But if they're caught, I will let you all know, you can notice that there are a total of 6 different 50 millimeter cannons that are sitting. There are 2 towers that are set apart from the fortress, that are like forward operating like turrets that have guards on it that have two 50mm cannons on them. They're tracking cannons on them. There's also 4 of them on the front and on the sides where you see there are these 2 fence-like structures that are like these garage bays, these kind of hangars where they have doors, and one of them's open. But there are turrets on top of each of those doors as well. Not counting the geological survey teams that are moving in and out of that bay doors with trucks that have tank treads on them. And Astucius comes back and says, Saturday, and tells you all of that, but then goes, Saturday, because you've gotten such a high roll. Saturday, it seems that there is a number of scanners in a 50-meter perimeter around the fortress.
How far are we from the fortress right now?
So I can go ahead and show you if you go ahead and go to this link. I'm not going to hit the battle map link just yet for the stream, but I will drop it here in the chat for you all to overlook it.
Okay.
So if you see that gray area is the craggy overlook, and I've made it gray, and there's a little bit of slightly variance in the white color to show that there's elevation. It is an overlook. It is essentially a cliff face. And your elevation, you are about 200 feet in the air above the fortress, but you are about, I would say with that distance, you're about a half a mile away.
Okay. All right. So how do we want to do this? Who's the stealthiest? And or who wants to cause a distraction on the other side of the base?
How far can your drones go?
That's a good question.
Because we can just strap bombs to them. They're stealthier than any of us.
That's true, but to answer your question directly, the answer to the first question is Drift, and the answer to the second question is probably me. Or Pinto, either way.
Okay.
Saturday, another voice pops up in your ear, different from Astucius, and it goes, you know what you could do is you could take one of the loud ones, one of the ones that knows how to utilize explosives, and you could have them ride along with the quiet one. You know, tandem, outside of their mech, slip out underneath the scanners, drop an explosive nearby. That's what I would do, though it's up to you, Saturday. And the voice kind of fades back.
Pinto,
Yes.
I have an idea.
Yes.
What if you hop out of your mech and ride along with Drift? Plant the charges, and you both come back, and we get on with what we're doing.
I mean, I do have experience to hit my own pyro before. I could do it.
Does that sound like a plan?
That makes sense to me. Cover fire from here if you need it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we wanted Pinto to help with the distraction, I could also probably help set up the charges. I mean, I'm kind of good at blowing things up. It comes with tools of the trade.
I mean, can you hack those guns? Talk about a distraction that would be.
How close are they?
So the guns that you see on the towers are about I would say a little less than a half a mile. They're closer to you than the main fortress. The fortress is about a half a mile away. And I could probably translate that to meters if you'd prefer.
I'm just trying to figure out what my distance was for my mech. Yeah, I have a sensor range of 10.
Okay. Sensor range of 10. So you would have to get... So see where you are right now, right here? You would have to get about right here. But you don't know how far their sensors go, is the thing. You would have to get at the foot of the cliff face that you're looking on. You'd like have to get down and get a little bit closer to be able to hack those towers.
The more we talk on this,
What about your Omni hook? Could you use your Omni hook to boost your capability?
Oh,
Drift. I need you to make a perception check for me.
Okay.
So you're gonna roll a d20, and if you have anything that helps you with like seeing things or spotting things, utilize that skill trigger, and then add your grit as well.
All right, let's see. What we got going? Let's see. I don't have anything for that, but oh, I have a 7.
A 7. You
Yeah.
think you notice I think you notice a shimmer in the distance, but you can't really make out what it is. But it seems to be moving. Carry on your conversation.
All right, so I kind of saw some, but I can get in and get out. Almost no issue, hopefully.
So then you just gotta get Pinto here and set stuff up to blow up. And then we're in business, yeah?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
We can make
Yeah.
it happen.
I'll let,
Helby, I think you're the only one that can fly, so just be ready to run interference.
you guys can't fly.
Jump jets.
The shit that you put on your mechs. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I can fly. Like,
Someone knows what they're doing. Yeah, no, I got preparation if I need to fly in, and I got something for him. It'll be fun.
cool.
What are all of yours E defenses?
Let us see.
Shh.
Boop, boop. I have an 8.
10.
Also 8.
10.
8.
Okay.
9.
Ooh. Perfect. Now the rest of you can go ahead, that are not drift, can go ahead and give me a perception check. If you have any skill triggers that help you perceive things, go ahead and utilize those. Add your grit, please.
Nine.
17.
Well,
I got a 7.
17.
I got a 21.
Critical hit.
Perfect. Critical. Okie dokie. So, Cinder. Everybody is preoccupied with discussing on how to talk about this. Everybody is focusing. Emil, something's kind of bothering you. but you can't really put it any place. You just notice that the geological team had seemed to stop, and they started making their way back inside the base, and they're closing the doors to the base. Cinder. Something flashes up on your heads-up display. And you notice that there's a spot, and you kind of look over to it, and you kind of peer at it, and there's a little bit of a shimmering. And you notice it's kind of a hovering shimmer. And then one of the 3 suns of this system of Karelia, one of the 3 suns hits behind a cloud, and the light kind of diffracts a moment, and you notice that shimmering turns into a gray object that seems to be a bit like a drone before it corrects itself, and a chameleon gear on it covers back up. It like reassesses, like the changing in the light like made its cloaking go off for a little bit, but then it like adjusted the light refractions and the cloaking went back on it. And it seems very close to you all, about over here, this part of the ridge. I'll go ahead and place a token for you, since you can see it. Or you know its last known position.
I think we're already being watched, everyone. They have drones.
So we should go fast now.
We should hurry.
Yeah.
We should do something.
Yeah, get the fuck out of your mech and get on it.
You got it.
ICEBOX, do you have range to hack that drone? Or does some... Or...
I would think... I forgot I have an Omni hook, so I think I could probably use that to boost my range. That's equipped on my mech at all times.
Yeah, you definitely could. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I would like to try and hack that drone.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll using your necessary triggers and your grit as well.
Okay.
I'll pull up its E defense.
That's an 18.
18. All right. By the skin of your teeth. You quick connection, Omni hook, and it brings it up and it goes, "We're connected." On your screen, and you can bring up, and it brings up a separate panel on your heads-up display, and you can see what the drone sees, which it does see you all on the hook, and you're starting to get the traffic of data that it's sending. And it's sending it to what appears to be the communications hub inside that fortress. And you get the fortress's name. It's called Kremlin. Kremlin. And it's just sending data back and forth. There's no range of communications or anything like that on it. It seems that it is just a surveillance drone. It's not supposed to set off any alarms or anything. It has no alarms on it. It just surveils. It's a camera, essentially. You also notice that it is on the same network with about 15 other of these drones.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely like share that information with the group. You know, hey, I'm in on the drone. It's attached to 15 other drones. Surveying. It's not set to really trigger any alarms, but it is sending information.
Any way we can scramble all the data that at least it's sending? Maybe all of them?
Or send something back.
A virus.
No, I was thinking about just piping Drift's music into it and fucking with them a bit.
That too. But also, let's strap bombs to that and use that as the explosion, because they're expecting it probably on their network. Like
You
on
know.
the RoTAC
That's not a bad idea. Hey, Cinder, you got like a flight plan for this thing?
Storyteller?
The drones themselves, they maintain in the same area. They float. They do have way of propulsion and flying around, but they stay. They're a certain meters apart, certain feet apart, that they can surveil over, and they have a bandwidth. There's another one to your right to where you're all standing on the ridge. There's another one to your right, but it's a bit off. You just came out where this one was. But yeah, you could take it, pilot it, and strap it on with some explosives.
Hang on.
But yeah.
Hang on. Wait a minute. This doesn't seem right. If this thing can see us, it knows we're here, and it's not sending any alarms to the base, it probably doesn't belong to the people on the base. What if it belongs to the people we found underground and they're spying?
They were dicks.
I mean,
so.
it provided me the name of the Fortress Kremlin. And it seemed like it was on their network.
You know what? I mean, look, I'm thinking it either belongs to the people down there, in which case I like Emil's plan of strapping bombs to it and running it into the building, or it belongs to the people back in there, in which case I like Emil's plan of strapping bombs to it and running it into that building. Either way.
Now, I have a story. One of my moms told me about this guy they used to work with who used to set camera feeds back a few seconds and just loop it. So you could do that with like its positioning or something.
Yeah, I was also thinking about just scrambling our
we
position. That was another thought. Agreed.
Let's blow this thing up.
You all get a hail on your communications. It's an outside line. It's just ringing. The
Well, I'm not picking it up.
What do you
Hello,
think,
this is
Rat?
Wrath.
Did you? What did you answer? What did you all answer?
Hello, this is Wrath.
Okay, you said hello. This is Wrath, and then Drift said hello. You both pick up, and you both hear as if someone's exhaling smoke. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound cute. What's up?
My name is Aristotle Capcan.
That's a dumb name. Are your parents siblings? Again, my name is Wrath.
This is on the public channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pinto's is, at least.
Yeah. I'll hop on the comms and be like, "Can it? We don't know who or what we're talking to."
Yes, sir, Mr. Pinto.
I can tell you right now, you call yourself Wrath. No, my parents were not siblings. My parents were nobles, proud of blood, descending from eons, from the 12 families of the Andromeda cluster. All formed together, dating back eons, even back to the New Earth. And today is the day that when I make a call to you, Mr. Wrath, you insult Aristotle Capcan, Czar of the new Humanity Coalition.
I am in so much trouble. I'm in so much trouble. Okay.
No, you're not, Pinto. Wrath is in trouble.
Is there someone else that I can speak with that is not this insipid fool?
What do you want?
This is Pinto, correct?
No. But yes. It doesn't matter.
No.
What do you want?
Yes. Is this what they send? Those imbeciles of the New Humanity Front. This is the best that they have to offer? You cannot even remember your own name. And a camera feed comes up, and you see, very much imagine like it's Command and Conquer Red Alert. You see a gentleman wearing a gray uniform, red like collars. There is epaulets of silver. They're actual silver epaulets on his outfit. And he has a cigar in hand, and it's smoking. And you see it is an old old man that has a scar that looks like it is like 4 claw marks that have dragged down the side of his face, that has turned it into just like a battlefield trench of just healed skin. And his eye is like, you can see there's like, it's dragged down a little bit where you can see in a bit of the socket, and it's milky and it's white. He's got a flat military cut. And behind him, you see there is a massive portrait of what seems to be him, with a series of people. Him, 2 women, a man, 3 children, and then a teenager that, if you're seeing this Hellbeast, looks awfully a lot like the person that you did battle with in the Goliath mech yesterday.
And sorry, I missed a bit of that. You say that they're all there, or this is like pictures of
It's
them?
pictures of it. It's his portrait of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and say, yeah, so this broadcast on everybody? On everybody's screen?
Yes, yeah. It
Alright.
just comes up the screen,
Alright.
and he's sitting there, and he's got like a
Alright.
cigar in hand.
All right, so I'll kick on my comms at that point and go, all right, who are we talking to?
My name is Aristotle Capcan, Czar of the new Humanity Coalition.
Yeah. Apparently, his family's been dating itself for ages.
Nice to meet you, Czar. I'm Stalin Perion.
I very much know who you are, Mr. Empyrean.
Means my brand is working. How can we help you?
He ashes the cigar off the side of the camera, inhales, blows out, and goes, "It seems we have picked you up on our readings, you and your friends."
Yeah, we're going worm hunting. You seen anything come through here?
Indeed. We did see something come through here. Massive. Like a bull. Raging. You might be interested in something that it dropped off as well. And he nods. And the camera pans, and you see sitting in a chair with 2 guards beside him. And these guards of the new Humanity Coalition are standing beside him. They're, imagine stormtroopers, but it's silver armor. All like a bunch of Captain Phasmas. But they have like fur, like capes and like cloaks on to keep them warm. That nature. It's a combination of like silver stormtrooper gear and fur to keep them warm. And you see Heracles Garza sitting in a chair, looking beaten up, worse for wear. He has been bandaged up, though. It seems that his wounds have been tended to. And he's like sitting, and there's like his like one hand is handcuffed to the chair, but his other hand has like, it seems like a drink that has a crazy straw in it, or a cookie straw in it. And he's kind of just like sitting and looking at the camera. The camera pans back.
No.
Yes, indeed. Mr. Pinto or Wrath or whatever your name is.
You alive and good? Good.
As much as he could be for being swallowed into a worm. He and his suit were picked up outside when he made a thrilling and daring escape from the body of that giant beast. We, out of the kindness of our hearts, brought him into our base, tended to his wounds.
Well, we owe you a great deal of gratitude then. You're welcome to release him back into our custody and we'll be on our merry way.
He nods, he goes, "That is possible. What else is possible is that I would like to wish to speak to you first. You come into our fortress, you speak with us, we come to an agreement, and you leave."
Hold on. We need to see that he's alive first.
I
want to
mean-
speak with him.
Yeah.
The camera
we don't know
pans
if
back
this-
around, and you hear Aristotle from off camera go, "Wave your hands, show that it is you." And Heracles just like puts down the drink and goes, "This is embarrassing." And then the camera.
He's never
pans
waved
back-
his hands in his life. That's not him.
And then the camera pans back towards Aristotle, the Czar.
Can you confirm that we'll have safe passage in and out?
And he puts his hand like this, over like a fist over his heart, and he goes, "By the order of the 12 families of the Andromeda Cluster, I, Aristotle Kapkan, Czar of the New Humanity Coalition, grant you safe passage in and out of our fortress, also known as Kremlin, as long as you do abide by our rules and status of the agreement that A, you will not try to disrupt any activities that we have going on here."
And how should we address you while we're inside, sir?
You may call me Czar Kapkan, or you can call me the Czar.
Fine.
Are we of agreement?
You good with video? I've got a stream going. Gotta keep viewership up. Probably kick my ass if I go dark out of nowhere.
I'm sure that we can allow a stream of our negotiations going on. There are quite a bit of our soldiers here in the Kremlin that adore your streams.
Happy to be of service. And I'll turn off my camera at that point.
Yeah, I'm closing the line.
Atlichno, we shall expect your arrival soon.
And I just fucking blast Vinceland by Aphex Twin into his speaker.
You can see he just grabs his head and his ears, and then just like the feed cuts.
That's a nice sign off. So we really going in here?
I don't see that we have any other choice, but we should probably have a backup plan before we go down there.
We probably should, considering that it looks like I turned his kid into Swiss cheese a bit ago.
That is true.
Yeah. Well, you didn't. The worm did.
Oh no, I shot the fuck out of that dude's mech. Domino go down. No, that was me. That was live on camera. Ain't no denying that.
Business.
Oh man, and me and Pinto did do a number on Homegirl.
Yes, you did.
We've got to be ready for anything, but we have to go in.
Yeah, we do have to be ready for anything. Why do you think I have a stream live? And I'm sending a message back to our base,
Okay.
telling everybody, tune in 20 minutes to Streamlink for a live meeting with the Kremlin and Czar Kapkan of the NHC.
Perfect.
Hey, Wes.
Tell them our
do
friend
we-
info.
Do we have any way of directly contacting Vulture Brigade HQ up above? Or if not, could, with that message going back to our base, could Malcolm contact HQ and let them know what's going on? Because I think they would care that one of their, sergeants is being held by the enemy.
So you're talking about, is there a way for you to get it back to the nest, or is there a way for you to have Malcolm get it back to the nest? I would say that, if you wanted to get in... So Stahl's already got a stream going, and has sent a message.
Yeah, and
there.
and if that message can get to the nest too, I'll happily just forward it up to them too.
Yeah, if you want, do feel free to
Yeah,
to do
it's
that.
the exact same context. So just tune in here in 20 minutes for a live stream from the Kremlin with Czar Kapkan. Send.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and make a note of that then.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
And then I'm just gonna shoot a message. I'm gonna shoot a message over to my manager. It's going to new stream live in 20 minutes. Geotag it.
Geotag it. No, and you just get a, yo, what the fuck are you doing, Stahl? He's like, what the fuck are you doing, Stahl? This is not your normal kind of concept of what you're doing here. We need big fucking space fights and space bugs being ripped apart, dude. What are you fucking doing? Talking to to space fascists.
I'm gonna pull up a video like back to him and just wait for him to pop up on the screen.
He goes, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" One second.
Shut the fuck up.
You make a fair point there, Stall. All right.
Cool, and I cut the screen.
All right, I shall take note of that as well.
Yeah.
All right.
And Saturday's gonna come over comms like, now before we go in there, can we all agree that we're going to be on our best behavior? Because I really don't want to piss off an entire base full of angry space fascists while we're stuck in there. Because we're gonna have to go in on foot. We're not gonna be in our mechs having this meeting.
As as you're saying that, I just want to add in, Saturday, you see the massive bulk doors of the front begin to open, and they open part sideways, and you see a second layer lowering down. It seems that it's very thick steel doors. And the dome shimmers a little bit, and you see that there's snow kind of swirling in as the atmosphere inside their fortress is mixing with the atmosphere outside, and it's kind of making a whirlwind of snow. And the doors open for you.
Well, all right then. We marching down?
I guess so.
All
Guys,
right.
before we go in there, I just want to say one thing. We need to do whatever it takes to save Heracles, but we still have a mission to do. And your lives are just as important. Remember that while we're down there.
Whatever you say, Chief.
So is bringing C4 in with us or not?
I think they might take that as a bit of an offense. Unless it's your emotional support C4.
Shape it into like a dog or something.
As you all take your mechs and slide down the cliff face, you start marching forward, and you can see those 50 millimeter targeting cannons all kind of turn towards you as you're walking up. And you walk up to the front doors, and you see as you kind of like your sensors break through the swirling snow and ice, and you get closer to the door, that inside the atmosphere is a nice, balmy 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It is not too cold, but it is not too warm, but it is much warmer than it is outside. And you see people are wearing a light amount of furs. You also see buildings, different pods that have formed up that seem to be more metallic pods. As you walk in, there seems to be a Praetorian Guard of sorts of different soldiers, and behind them a series of those assault mechs that you saw before that were attacking the NSF, the New Solidarity Front. And they when you walk up to the doors, they all make a same gesture of that fist over the chest, all of them, as if welcoming a honored guest into their home. At the far end of this array, there's about 50 of those guards, those armored guards, and there's about 5 on either side of those mechs. At the very end of it, you see there is a group of people, it seemed to be in uniforms, and there is a grav lift, just a hovering lift that would be considered like a carriage or a cart if it had wheels on it, but it just kind of hovers up waiting at the long line. What are you all doing?
We walked up in our mechs, right?
Yeah, you're in your mechs.
All right. Does it look like they're waiting for us to bring the mechs inside, or are we parking them out here?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna make sure that I have my guns on me.
Okay.
Just gonna say that so it's clear.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get out of my mech.
Okay.
Yes,
You're
so
blasted with cold air as soon as you step out of your mech.
yeah. So we're leaving the mechs out front then, not bringing it inside.
It's up to y'all.
I was confirming that's what was going on here.
So we have a choice.
Seems to be.
They have let the door open, and they are letting you do as you see fit.
Oh, in that case, I'm in my mech all day.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You open up the door. You open up the cockpit to your mech. You realize how fucking cold it is outside this fortress. You immediately close it and start walking in.
I'm gonna let him walk ahead, and I'm just gonna monitor signal between us, like from outside and inside, just to see if there's a continual connection.
As you step inside, what's your E defense?
10. Oh no, mine's 10, but I'm outside. What's Raph's?
Rats is 8, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
So as soon as you step in, all signals except for your stream signal go off. Stall. Wrath, your outside signals go off. Like shut down.
Okay, so my stream is still live before.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So because with that, I'll continue inward. I won't just leave it outside because at least the stream is still live and broadcasting through.
Are the rest of you following them inside in your mechs?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, I just lost sensors.
Yeah, same, but my stream's still up, so we've got that going for us.
And you each notice that your signals are all dropping as you step inside. And the frost that had accumulated on your mech starts to thaw. And you're walking down, and as you are walking past these guards, as you walk past them, they drop the salute and they break off and seem to be going back to their normal duties as you pass each of them. And you can hear the blast doors starting to close behind you. That one that's on the inside raising up and the two on the outside closing. You make your way towards the end and you see this group of people. There is the man that you saw on the stream is sitting in that grav lift. Heracles is sitting next to him. He doesn't seem to be handcuffed or anything. And there seems to be more of those guards. But this time, instead of having the silver armor with the fur, it is completely blacked out armor with purple like visors on that can see. And they have fur as well. And this man is dressed up. He's got the kind, I can't remember the name of the hat, but it's the fur hat that's just in a circle around. Very, very fashion forward with his silver epaulets that are almost like shoulder pauldrons on his uniform.
I have a question about these soldiers.
Correct. Yes.
So these soldiers, are they people in armor or are they people in mechs?
They are people in what seem to be streamlined, taller than average human mech suits.
Okay.
So they are humans that are in like the Anthem style suits.
So it's like an exoskeleton
Yeah.
almost sort of thing. Gives you like a foot of height. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Space
Awesome.
Marines kind of deal.
Just needed that for my mental sandbox. So sorry.
They are taller than the average like guards that you saw before that look like the stormtroopers with the fur. But these guys just seem like they are just taller, beefier, bulkier, all blacked out, purple visors. Riker, you kind of get a tinge of like deja vu. And your neck kind of burns a little bit. You can feel that itching on your neck where that tattoo is.
He's gonna pull up his black turtleneck so that it's like invisible. He wants to make like he'll keep his neck super stiff as to not reveal the tattoo.
Not to reveal the tattoo. Perfect. Yeah. You all come before this retinue, and he looks up at your suits and he has another cigar. And you see a slim man, bald head with the round spectacles of Maximilian Strauss, other people that have bald heads and the round spectacles, the John Lennon glasses, pop up wearing a similar uniform to his without the pauldrons or the epaulets, and then bring up a lighter, a very ornate lighter, and lights it for the Czar, Aristotle Capcan, his cigar for him. And he just looks up at your mechs.
We good? everybody.
As a show of good force, I'm gonna open my mech, but I imagine it kind of has like a bit of a stair, so I'm gonna open it and just kind of stand in the like platform that descends out of my mech and just kind of have this eye to eye.
Yeah,
with Czar.
your mech kneels a little bit, and I imagine the cockpits of your mechs, they're not in like the head kind of areas, they're in the torso, and it opens and then a stair folds down for you to stand up out of your seat and then walk down, and it kind of brings you face to face with this Czar, this Aristotle cap can in front of it.
I'm gonna just quickly check my mobile hard suit under my jacket, make sure that's all operational. My Bayard and my baton just attached. All right. Is signal between my comms and my mech still active? The close proximity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Local comms are still active. Yeah.
All right, cool. So local command is up, and then I will just kick stream on, and then I'll open my mech and sort of slide down.
The rest of you open cockpits, get out.
Yeah. Just pop out.
The weather here is the warmest that you've felt since your time being on the base, being on this planet. It feels nice, almost. You feel like almost like the clothes that you're wearing are a little bit too much for this weather, the layers that you have on. And the man with the bald head and the glasses brings up something on his throat, a bit of like a choker that has like a metal disc on it, and you hear him go, "Dobre utro," and it translates to "Good morning." And he goes, "Minya zovut Mondley," and he goes, "My name is Mondley," and I'm just kind of showing that it's translating his language for you. I'm not gonna do the whole thing in Russian.
You're very close, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I do not speak Russian at all. I am going to preface with that. And Mondley goes, "Welcome to the Kremlin. Honored guests of the Tsar, Aristotle Kafkan. May we provide any refreshments for you as we make our way to the conference room?" And then you hear the translator disc go, "Conference room, council room, war council room." It starts making the corrections for it.
No, just take us there.
Actually, I'll take your nicest whiskey.
Spasibo. Excellent. Thank you. One whiskey, please, for Mr. Is that Karelia?
Indeed.
We are big fans of your work here, Karelia 11. Thank you. And you... What was that, Ben?
Do you have any Miller High Life? PINTO just disguising his voice.
Disguising his voice. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can find that somewhere here to supply for you. We do carry a variety of brands here.
How to show?
And you see him like stare off in the distance, and his eyes kind of glow a little bit, and he goes, "Those shall be waiting for you in the conference room, council room, war council room. Could you please all gather on the grav lift, and we shall go there now."
So,
Check. Oh, go ahead.
Despite the temperature here, after this, sort of in the midst of this conversation, Wrath will reach in his mech and pull out this giant fur coat that sort of covers his entire neck and put that on and clasp it.
Perfect. You go ahead and grab that. It's very warm. Very, very warm.
I just want to clarify that during that whole exchange, Saturday had gotten out of arcade, but was had Astucius like with the hand and was just kind of standing on his mech's hand while that went on, and then had Astucius just like lower him down to step directly onto the what did you call it?
The grav lift. Yeah.
Grav lift. There we go.
Just lowers you directly onto the grav lift. You see Aristotle Capcan kind of looks as you get lowered onto the grav lift and just kind of does like lets a little bit of smoke out and puffs on the cigar and then makes motions. It's bench seating, very plush velvet bench seating arranged on either side of the grav lift, and there's an area for somebody to stand and control it. So imagine it's like a luxury kind of carriage of sorts where you can sit on all sides except for there's one portion where the person that's driving it. I'm assuming you all make your way on the grav lift.
Yeah, I'm just checking to make sure, checking the chat program and whatnot on the Bayard to make sure that the stream is still live and functional.
Yeah, streaming on your Bayard still going live. It's a little bit crackly, but not too much of a dip in quality there. And you are seeing in the chats being like, "Who the fuck are these fancy people? What the hell?" Oh, they're like, NHC, fucking space fascists, like all this stuff like that. You all make your way on the grav lift. And sit down, and Maudley goes to the controls and hits a control, and you can hear a hum underneath you as it lifts up a little bit more and turns and starts moving. And Heracles is sitting there looking at all of you and goes, "Good, you all made it out. I was worried. Bringing the ceiling down was smart." And Aristotle looks over at him and goes, "What ceiling did you bring down upon whom?"
Tried to get the worm to stop moving. Did a decent job of it.
I see. You two have come face to face with the gods of this planet. Tell me, what do you think?
I think they bleed pretty easy.
We have come to the same realization. Throw enough firepower at it, and you can bend them to your will. Very good. And he kind of leans back and looks over and he goes, "Do you notice that we have built something here? A utopia of sorts. Not bothered by the freezing trappings and the murderous environment of the planet outside. Through sheer willpower and technology, we have brought peace to the surface."
I think it was just fine before you came here.
Heracles,
Give us our friend and we'll go.
Heracles goes, "I agree." And Aristotle goes, "We shall not be here for too long. This is not our home. We do not wish to colonize this area, to bleed it dry. We are merely here looking for something. That is it.
Looking for what?
Just looking for a simple piece of a formula that would help us work out an equation that we've been working on for a very long time. We shall talk more about it in the council room, though. You should be interested."
You didn't answer my question. And I don't know that we'll be talking after this. Give us our friend.
I said that I would give you your friend if you came to an agreement. Our agreement. We are getting to an agreeing time. Let your friends have their refreshments. Sit down. Warm yourself by my hearth, and then we shall talk over.
Listen.
Saturday's gonna scoot over right next to Heracles and kind of like lean over. They treating you okay? Are you... everything good?
When they brought me in here, they took care of me. They gave me medicine, they bandaged me up. They asked if I needed anything, and sarcastically I said I could go for a daiquiri, and they brought me a daiquiri. We take very good care of our guests. Go ahead, Saturday. Sorry.
Saturday's gonna be like, what do you think the catch is?
With these types, there's always a catch. They're gonna have us do something that we're not comfortable with.
Listen, Czar. It's not that we don't appreciate your kindness. But I've seen things like this before. Manipulation tactics. We don't have that kind of time. We've got a job to do. And I'd much rather you cut to the point than let us get out of here.
And I walk over to Wrath and go, hey man, be cool. It's like Space Monaco.
Listen to the man. We're not leaving until we play contracts and politics. That's how it goes, right?
You understand, and you realize that those guards, those like kind of those blacked out guards in the exosuits, have been floating alongside. They have like some kind of like a hover jump jets on them that allow them to kind of move alongside. But they seem to be like in a walking formation, but they're like walking on air, it seems, alongside this grav lift. Aristotle leans back and ashes his cigar over the side and looks over at you, Riker, and goes, You seem familiar to me. I can't quite put my name on it, though. Tip of my tongue, so to speak.
Probably better to keep it in your mouth.
You're very funny.
I'm just imagining that he says that, and Riker just goes.
No, that's canon.
Yeah.
It was just like trying not to laugh.
Aristotle turns and looks at you, Stahl, and he kind of smiles at you, and he goes, "Ever the quick wit, Mr. Empyrean." If you look over here to our right, and he begins starting to talk about the base that you have, he points to a training grounds where you see a series of people, all with the same haircut, all wearing the same kind of training clothes, going through different training exercises, jumping jacks, push-ups, going through an obstacle course, things of that nature. He points over to the side where there is a massive hangar bay that has multiple mechs hanging up, being taken care of, rebuilt, repaired, going through things, and they all look the same. They have the same paint scheme, they all move the same, they have the same armaments. The only variations is between the like if it's an artillery type, or if it's an infantry type, or if it's a cavalry type, that kind of thing. They are going towards like going through, and you come to a giant building that looks like the only way I can describe it is if you've ever been to a courthouse or a city hall in a big city. And it's like this brutalist structure of like giant cinder block walls that have etchings carved into them of like the different symbols of the NHC, and giant cast bronze plaque above the doors to this area. You see there are multiple figures. It's cast in this like plaque. There are multiple figures that are working together hand over hand, seemingly carrying and holding tools, building up a tower, and it seems to be a plaque that is dedicated to the age-old legend of the Tower of Babel of some sorts. Something that and just a little bit of a lore dump, something that the new Humanity Coalition kind of lean into is that the original Tower of Babel was a failure upon people relying too much on God, and that they are trying to build a new Tower of Babel to reach heaven, to build, and they don't need to rely on any deities or anything of that nature. They just need to rely on good old-fashioned pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. To get the job done.
Well, you know I hate that. Out of character, you know I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah, as he's giving this speech and they're driving through all of the like creepily identical people and identical mechs all doing the same thing, Saturday's just going to like lean back and put their feet up on the back of the bench in front of them and just pull their bright purple hair down and just kind of shake it off to the side. Like, by the way, I'm nonconformist.
While this happens, actually, I'm keeping the stream up for everything. But at one point, I'm gonna mute the stream and lean over to Cinders really quietly and go, all right, I've got this thing geotagged, but how likely do you think you are to actually like pull information and hold on to it for later from this place?
Do you mean right now?
I mean, while we're here.
I can see what I can do.
Get something worthwhile, I'll fund your next fucking mech. Something to make this a decent trip. And I'll kick the volume back onto the stream.
So, the grav lift comes up, pulls up right to the steps of this place. The steps drops down. Mondley turns and looks to you and goes, "We have arrived at our destination. If you would all, in a uniform fashion, step off and make your way through the front doors. Shall I?" And he goes, "Shall I, Czar Kapkan?" And they extend their arms to him. And he, like, is helped up. And you notice now that his left leg, is cybernetic. And it's like, it sticks out from the rest of, like, his pants. He doesn't have pants covering it or anything like that. It is just moving. But it's a very, like, stiff model. It seems like it's an old model prosthetic. Most prosthetics nowadays you can hardly notice that they're prosthetics. They've got synthetic skin, some of that nature, and it seems like this is a very old wound, and it seems like he's probably holding on to something, a relic of the past. And it starts moving, and he's helped up the steps and everything. The guards all kind of land and make their way, and they follow up along him. You all step off the grav lift. Heracles falls back with the rest of you and looks over to all of you and goes, "I hope you all have a fucking plan."
Well, right now you're on live TV, so there's plan number one.
Good. I've always wanted to be on the internet.
It's a bad idea.
They have Drop Shot locked up in one of their bays.
Well, we got your gun back with our shit, so got that at least.
And you can see, like, relief kind of fall over his face. You all walk in to a very warm entrance room where there is an attendant waiting and gathering the fur coat and the hat from Aristotle Kapkan. And you see there behind it, there's like a central, like, wooden area. There's a police helicopter. You see there's a central wooden area where there's, like, seems to be like a attendant, front desk area. People that are collecting different different papers, pushing them into pneumatic tubes. And then there's like radio transmitting and, like, computers and everything. It seems like they have all manners of communications at this central area. There's tubes going up into the walls and everything, that in case there's anybody that tries to hack or any kind of electronically, they have other systems in place to be able to get messages sent to people in different ways. A very utilitarian style area. The structure carries on architecture same way. It's very brutalist style in here. And at the very back, there is a staircase that leads up to a second level, a grand staircase. And on the very back of it, you see, in between two massive NHC banners, is this giant fucking portrait of, it seems to be an artist's rendition of Aristotle Kapkan taking his hand into a bag and spreading seeds or oats about different star planets, and on them trees are growing, as if he is sowing wild oats amongst the star system, bringing prosperity and everything to the land.
Homie really likes himself.
Loves himself.
Kim Jong Kafkan.
Johnny fucking Appleseed.
I like the space fascist description best, I think.
So as you were all just making your way up these steps, past the way, I'm just gonna, unless anybody wants to do anything or say anything off to the side, I'm just gonna kind of speed up until we get to the conference/council/war council room. Big wooden doors are open before you. Inside, you see a massive metal table. Imagine the war room from Dr. Strangelove. A massive table, bereft of people sitting at chairs all around it, except for 2 are being occupied. One by Mona Naito, also known as Barricade, and the other one by the artist that you all know, the artist formerly known as Heflin Capcan, or Domino. And it seems that they are playing paper football with each other. They are like holding up the goals and then flicking a paper football. Towards a giant hollow screen behind, there's a mini bar, and you see 4 other individuals. Going to describe them one by one. You see a man wearing a tank top and board shorts with sandals covered in burn marks. He has stringy hair that's pulled back into a bun. He's got a cybernetic arm. If anybody wants to roll, it's just a roll of like a streetwise skill trigger or anything of that kind of nature. And we'll kind of, just depending on what you get, we'll go down the line and see if each of you know each of these people.
I have word on the street. Does that count?
Perfect. Yes.
I have nothing. Can I flat roll or not?
Yes, you can flat roll. Yes.
So I have word on the street, and I have get a hold of something, which like acquire temporary or permanent allies, assets, or connections through wealth or social influence.
You can use either or, whatever's the highest for one of those.
Oh, they're the same. It doesn't even.
Okay.
I got a 13.
I got a 16.
8.
13, 16, 8,
12.
12,
15.
15.
A 20.
All right.
Fuck all yas.
So, everybody, Pinto, you kind of keep to yourself with a lot of things. You were kind of like in the scheme of Lancer pilots, Pinto is like an independent wrestler.
I kind of grew up in a very, let's say, sequestered environment with little outside media.
Yeah. The rest of you, and even more so, you will know Karelia Drift. So this first person is Donald, Danal Lamias, Lamias. And he is a former F-Infinity racer that got into a tragic accident and was not allowed to go back to racing. And so he took towards working as a Lancer pilot, private militarized, and is kind of a foil to Pinto in a bit. Pinto being known as like a daredevil, explosions, things of that nature. He pilots a mech called Pyro that is known for having flames, lighting things on fire. He has been arrested multiple times for multiple cases of arson, destruction of government buildings, some of that nature. The next person down the line next to him, that they seem to be playing Rochambeau, but the port where you kick each other in the nads if you lose, is a giant man. A mass of muscle and just built like Zangief almost. You would know this is Viroslav Han. Viroslav Han is a former NHC mech pilot turned their Ivan Drago of sorts, made to be their big like, he's going to push forward our ideals and everything. He is the peak the pinnacle of what we can produce from our planets if you follow our routine, if you step in line and everything. Giant man, blonde, flat top. His call sign is Reactor. His mech is, imagine Pacific Rim, Chernobog, the giant, which looks like a fucking giant nuclear like coolant tower.
Fucking Cherno Alpha.
Yeah, Cherno Alpha. He's got like a fucking. It's a massive. It's got a nuclear reactor, essentially a nuclear power plant on its back. It is a massive quadruped mech that has a full array of artillery and he has not used it, but apparently there's rumors that he does have a nuclear device on board. Then over to the side, talking to themselves, you see two people clad in helmet and cloak and armor. One wearing black and yellow stripes, fur coat that's a full fur collar, and has a arm that is like cybernetic, and the very ends of it, the fingertips are sharp, almost like the sharpest of nails. And you can see their very lithe form. And this is known as a famed pilot that Stahl might have come into contact with Stahl's different lance rings and other sort of mech combat, is the famed combat pilot known as Killer Be Killed. They are a androgynous, non-binary mech pilot that lives their life under a headpiece, a dome of sorts. They have a very bee-like motif going on about them. And you would be noted a foil to Saturday, because they also utilize swarms and drones in their mech piloting that they call their children. And then finally, leaning up against the minibar and talking to Killer Be Killed, but turns and looks, is somebody that nobody would know except for Karelia. You've heard whispers of a mech pilot, of somebody that comes from the outer reaches of the universe, that has just kind of showed up on the scene and has been collecting people to form this 6 skull squad. They're only known as Uno. Nobody knows who's under it, under this hood, and they have it's armor, and then a leather duster over it. Every piece of them is covered up to their neck. Seems that they're wearing some kind of hard suit, and the mask of this helmet that they have on has a Dia de los Muertos kind of feel. It's sugar skull kind of motif on it. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows where they come from. Nobody knows anything about them. Just that they call themselves Uno, and they drive a mech that they call Hurricane. And it is a mech with about 8 different arms, uses lances and spears and pikes, also has a chain of sorts that they utilize, and like whirling around, attaching to things, and then keeping them tied down with like their pikes and their lances. And they all kind of turn and look at you, and the Czar walks in and moves to the head of the table and goes, "We should all be able to sit."
I'm gonna walk up and I'm waiting for Domino to flick the little paper football thing before I just bump the desk with my knee.
Go ahead and give me a D20 roll there.
Uh-huh.
All right. While he's doing that, I look over at the crew and I go, "Yo, that's fucking Dom Lamius."
Don looks over to you and goes, "Oh, you little fucking shit there, Karelia. Never thought I'd see you like on the surface this fucking scrap heap."
I never thought I'd see you alive.
I rolled a 17.
17? Okay.
Yeah.
Immediately, Mona Naito is about to flick the football, and you.
I was waiting for Domino to do
Oh,
it.
for Domino to do it? Okay, yeah. And he goes to like flick it, and immediately you just knock it over. So he flicks his own finger, and he goes, "Fuck, asshole."
Fucking got him. You just won the war, everyone.
Oh, good. I thought you may have died out there. Good to see you.
He goes, "Can't get rid of me yet." And you look over and you see his face almost mirroring his father's, but on the other side. You see there are multiple like scratch marks that are healing, that are covered up and bandaged. And he's got like a cigarette dingling out of his mouth.
Nice look. Look over to Mona. What do you think? Good look for him?
Mona just kind of smirks at you and then just goes, "It's not really his face that we keep him around for," and leans back in a chair and then brings out like a vape pen and starts just like kind of chuffing away at it.
Good to know everybody's roles here.
Donald or Pyro marches right up to you, Karelia, and gets like in your face, and he's about 5'2", so he's shorter than you, and he like, kind of gets up on his tippy toes and he goes, "Last time I saw you had eaten my exhaust and everything like that. Kinda suspicious how I got into an accident in the same circuit that you were in there, Karelia boy."
Look, man, you're bad at driving.
Go ahead and give me a roll. Use any skill triggers that you would seem associated with intimidating anybody. Anything of that nature.
Stay cool.
Yeah, rolls. Yeah, add stay cool as a skill trigger. Yep.
All right. 20.
You're bad at driving, and you look right at him. He's got he's maintaining eye contact with you, staring contest, and just without even kind of moving the rest of your body, you blow out a little bit of air from your mouth at the end of that, and he flinches at it, and he kind of like expecting you to hit him or something like that, and he goes, "Fuck you, Karelia. Second-rate driving anyways."
Watching this
It's
shit...
the person that crashes all the time.
Watching this shit go down and like the chaos that I'm causing here, I'll give like a small like wink and like head nudge towards Cinder, trying to cue her just to do stuff while we have everybody's attention, and I'll turn back to Mona and Domino and just go, like, I mean, shit, if his face isn't what you keep him around here for, I can't imagine what else he'll be good for. Guy couldn't pilot a mech, obviously, couldn't take us down. If he doesn't have the looks, I mean, shit.
Go ahead and give me a roll. You utilize a skill trigger as well.
Skill trigger towards what end?
You're trying to take control of the situation, trying to be distracting, trying to elicit a response.
Distracting, absolutely. So that'll be a 19 total.
Perfect. All right. So you kind of were given the signal there, Cinder, to do something from our dear friend HELLBEAST here. Are you doing anything?
I think Cinder's gonna definitely take a look around the room and see if because she's not anyone famous, no one's gonna recognize her. So she wanted to see if there was a panel or somewhere that she could access to plug into.
Go ahead and give me give me a hack roll.
I was gonna say a hack or an act unseen.
Give me an act unseen, and we'll see how that goes before we could do a hack roll.
Okay.
Yeah, but I am being loud about it, just to see if I can draw the other people's attention towards me just shitting on Domino in front of Mona.
While this is happening, Pinto would also like to act unseen to access that mini bar.
Perfect. Go ahead and give me a roll there, Pinto.
21.
I got a 15.
Okay.
Flawless on all counts.
Okay, let me kind of describe everything. Aristotle Capcan has gotten to the head and is kind of like the head of the table, massaging his temples. Heflin stands up. Domino stands up and goes, "That's the last of your shit that we need around here for. It's even a wonder that we even are trying to talk with you or agree with you. We could have blasted you out of the sky when you're on that fucking cliff face." Mona is off to the side and goes, Heflin, please calm down. You're only embarrassing yourself. And kind of like looking at Stahl a little bit, and then going over, looking at Karelia a little bit, going over and noticing Saturday's hair a little bit. And while you're doing that, Pinto just kind of like slides on over to the minibar, and like Killer Be Killed is off looking to the side, and you're just kind of like grabbing a beer, grabbing a shot, putting some stuff in your coat, and you notice that Uno is looking directly at you, not saying anything, but just like has their drink and is just sipping it through a straw that's like has come out of their mask, and it's just like sipping and looking at you. And like as you're just kind of pocketing everything, doesn't say anything at all. While you're doing that,
I nod.
You nod. They nod
And
back to
continue
you.
taking things.
Can I make a roll?
Yeah. What are you trying to roll for?
So I imagine in this situation, Riker's just kind of standing in the middle of the room, trying to read the room.
Mhm.
He's probably just like standing straight as a board.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna roll read a situation.
Perfect.
I got a 20.
Sick. Okay. What are you trying to figure out about this situation? I will give
so
you
read a situation
anything
helps,
that you're trying to figure out.
helps me find motive and subtext, or like try to find threats. So really, I'm
Okay.
looking for people who are armed and dangerous, things like that. Sort of like if there's cameras, if there's turrets, if there's a security system. Try to understand if we're being held here, like if we could just leave, things like that.
So what you notice as this is all going down, Cinder, you notice that there's a panel off to the side that is behind a ficus. It's clearly a ficus. It's not a great, it's an office plant. Just trying to dress up this council room a little bit, but it's not doing a great job of it. It's kind of pulling all the effort here. And other than the banners that all the very fashy kind of banners that are hanging up that are dedicated to this whole outfit. And you kind of make your way over beside it to where you can kind of work, not nearby it because you have your Omni hook and everything, but like just kind of close enough that you can kind of like not have to worry, and you're just unassuming. Nobody notices you. You're not a big time like hot shot like Stahl or any of these other people.
I will keep that momentum going to Heflin. Just be like, I mean, she's got a point, man. Like, you're talking about how you could have blown us out of the sky. You couldn't hit me straight in front of your own face. It's not really a good look.
Riker, as you're looking around the room and as Stahl is saying that, you notice that there are two areas above the hollow screen that is behind Aristotle's back that seems like they're panels where turrets come out of. There are none of those guards that are inside the room. It is just you, the Czar, and the 6 skulls in here with Heracles. It seems like they have been called in here without really knowing what was going on either. It just seems like you're all being like called in here. For exits and entrances, there's the one that you came into, and there's also a door that's next to the giant hollow screen that's very unassuming. There doesn't seem to be any knob or anything like that. You wouldn't be able to tell that it's actually a door if there wasn't a panel beside it. It seems like it's supposed to be like a bug out door just in case. You notice that Pyro or Donald is like eyeing Karelia, and Uno seems to be studying you. After like interacting with Pinto a little bit, Uno seems to be studying you. Killer Be Killed is focused intently on Saturday, and the giant man Veroslav is eagerly watching what's unfolding between Stahl. Everybody seems to be focused on everybody but Cinder, who you've noticed Cinder has moved closer to a panel that seems to be a security panel of some sort.
I'll catch a big guy's eye and just go, "You enjoying the show there, buddy?"
I am very interested in seeing two scrawny men fight it over for who has the biggest cock.
Tell you what, how about you and me take Mona later? We'll settle this once and for all. And I'll cut back to Domino and just go, "It's not you, though, I'm afraid."
I'm going to need you to make a roll for me, please,
Oh, yeah.
here, Zach. And Do you have anything that is involved with dodging or any skill triggers of that sort?
I got get somewhere quickly, and I've also got some assault stuff.
Utilize get somewhere quickly for me as a skill
Okay.
trigger there.
Am I out of my pilot grid, or is it just the trigger?
Just the trigger.
Okay, so it's 21 instead of 22.
21 instead of 22. Heflin just yells out, "Enough!" and goes to kick the chair that is beside him into you, but you were kind of like expecting that. And you move out of the way and push it towards the table so it hits into the table. And you immediately realize that he's going to strike you. That if he wasn't going to like kick the chair into you, he was going to follow it up with a punch. What are you doing?
Yep. My Bayard is in his face before he can throw his fist forward.
Go ahead and roll me that with any skill triggers that you roll a d20, skill triggers, anything of that nature.
I'm just going to call it show off because it's really fucking fast. And that's a 19.
Whoo! All right.
Yeah, so it's one of those Voltron-looking Bayards. It shoots the same way too, and it's just in his face before the fist can come through.
He immediately goes to like punch you, and then your Bayard just goes like right into his forehead, and he stops, and he's fuming, and he's staring right at you past those sunglasses, and he's just like.
And I'm gonna look over at the Czar. Let's go.
The Czar has another cigar, and he takes a cutter and cuts the tip off of it, and then puts it in his mouth, and then he looks over at Veroslav, and Veroslav goes over beside Heflin, grabs Heflin's shoulder, wheels him around into the chair so that he like that. It like loses his breath and then shoves his face into the table, so that like.
And I will.
Yeah.
And I will put the Bayard back, and as this is happening, I'm doing a quick glance over at Cinder to see if that was enough of a fucking distraction to get shit done.
Cinder, go ahead and give me a hacking roll.
Yeah. Let's get this fucking hacking done. I've been trying for this for a while.
I got a 24.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay, we're okay. We'll tap into that here in a little bit. Riker, what were you going to? What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to further the distraction. I'm gonna roll lead or inspire. I've got +5 to it, which is so nice.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just interject, like, because I can like kind of sense the tension from my last roll.
Yeah.
And just be like, "That's enough." I got a 23.
Nice.
So
okay.
He's gonna kind of try to break the tension, try to like rein in everyone's focus on the Czar, and just say, "That's enough. Why are we here?"
I'll put
just kind of put that social pressure on the Czar.
I'll take that cue to put the Bayard back into my jacket.
All eyes in the room kind of turn and look towards the Czar, and he goes, "Thank you, Mr. Choi. Can we all please sit down, or are we going to act like children? I think you'll all be very interested in this." And Cinder, you're looking at your, like, I imagine it's like a wrist data pad kind of deal, so that you don't have to have your phone out or anything like that.
I was actually thinking it was on her leg, so it just looks like she's nervously tapping her leg, but she's actually operating her electronics on her leg. So it looks like a very nervous child. Well, not child. She's not a child. She's like 28.
Yeah.
She's like tapping on her leg in the corner, and she doesn't, she's done this. Hacking is like something she's done since she was like a kid. It was like a fun activity for her and her father to do, at her other father's disapproval. So she like is silently tapping over on her leg, trying to get whatever information that she can, about the construction of this place. I think she's really looking for schematics and then like any kind of operations information.
Much like the government structure that the NHC has modeled themselves after, as butchered and patchwork as it is, taking from different things and kind of making them into one just like uber totalitarian government, much like the former Imperial Russian government and other fascist regimes that have been, that have ebbed and flowed. like Rome, you now have their security in this building has crumbled before you, much like those regimes have in the past. And you have this entire grid for this station on board for at least the next 10 minutes before they realize that somebody's in here that's in their systems. So you have about 10 minutes to do what you need to do, wreak as much havoc or take as much information as you can to do what you need to do that.
Yeah, so I think what she's going to do in that 10 minutes is basically copy over whatever information that she's obtained, and then store that on her own personal drive, wipe any trace that she was there, and then actually remove some of their important security protocols. Like, just put in a tiny bit of code so that if they go to trigger certain alarms, they're going to malfunction.
Perfect. Taking that into account, the rest of you kind of make your way and sit down towards, or make your way to sit down at the table.
I'm wanting to do two things with this. Riker is going to say that he's going to stand, thank you, and the reason why, one, it's a display of distrust, and two, to keep further the distraction on ICEBOX.
Okay. As you're doing that, you say that, and Aristotle kind of sighs, and you hear from Uno. We don't really hear it, but you hear you hear a beep come from Uno as they kind of like touch something on their chest, like a panel on their chest, and they sign towards you that they're going to do the same. It's like a sign of respect that like they're going to stand with you, and just to make themselves feel a little bit more comfortable. And with that, the attention goes back to Capcan after you have helped calm this down and kind of made everybody kind of focused on what they're here for. Aristotle goes, with notice of the bugs and the horde that live beneath this planet, I recognize that there are paltry scrimmages between your faction that you are working for and our faction. And I would like to suggest a ceasefire of sorts. And we're going to go to a quick 5-minute break with that. We will be right back, folks. Thank you for sticking in with us. Apologize for the technical issues before, but we will be right back. So do not go anywhere.
I'm a goddamn superhero. I'm a goddamn superhero.
And we are back from our break where Oblivion Unit has set aside... Oh no. What has happened? What has happened? There we go. There we go. Somebody's just beautiful face was just in the wrong area. Sorry. Overlays and all that. You know how it goes. Tech stuff. Always breaking. Perfect. All right. Everything back. Can't trust anything in this new world. Perfect. All right. Thank you. As if my anxiety didn't need a break. Perfect. Oh, you're also wonderful. Thank you. All right. Perfect. All right. That's about as good as we're gonna get it. Sick. Okay. So we start back off with the Czar, Aristotle Capcan, suggesting potentially a ceasefire between the two different groups, the New Solidarity Front and the New Humanity Coalition. And he just kind of sits, grabs a lighter. It's one of those like bulb lighters, those very fancy bulb lighters. Grabs it, lights his cigar, and then sits back in his chair. And Veroslav has let go of Heflin and has sat down, a very big man in a tiny chair next to him with his eyes on Heflin. And everybody, all of the six skulls are kind of looking shocked at Aristotle, except for Uno, who is focused on Riker. And Heflin looks around, looks at all of you, bloody nose, a welt starting to form on the side of his face that has not been scarred to death and bandaged up. And he just goes, "Excuse me, what?" Aristotle goes, "Do I have to repeat myself? I'm not working with them. They trashed my mech. They did this to my face. They've been causing problems for us since they got here. They probably brought that giant fucking worm here. They disabled..." And then Aristotle holds up a hand and goes, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Correct? Seeing as how we cannot work with these worms against you and the likes of the New Solidarity Front. Since I can have a conversation with you all, I was hoping we could work together." And Stahl in your stream goes, "Is this guy forming an alliance? Like question mark?" It's like, what the fuck? No, like all this stuff just popping off in the chats.
Yeah, I'll just look in at the chat log on the PAR. Just go,
Someone in your chat redeeming a poll to see if we go with it or not.
Yeah, someone, yeah.
So that's the big grand plan, as we pool our resources to stop the big worms from making havoc.
What's the catch?
The catch is, oh colorful one, that we work together. We get what we came here for, and we leave this desolate rock for the hounds of the New Solidarity to deal with the worms and the bugs here. And you all can get your pay, and we can get what we come here for. And you hear Donald go, "We're still getting paid, right? Like, they're not getting part of our pay. We're getting our original deal that we agreed upon." And then Uno looks over at Donald, and then Donald goes, sorry. Yes, you will get your pay. Everyone will be paid. I'm just trying to make this complicated situation a little less complicated.
Saturday's gonna look over to Heracles and, like, kind of give him a, well, what do you think, kind of look.
Heracles kind of clears his throat and goes, that's something that we would have to bring up with the Vulture Brigade Higher Command. We're not exactly breaking a contract, but we would have to work with them and with the NSF to see if potentially that could become... We're not the ones to make this decision. We're contract workers. As much as I think it would be best to have nobody die, nobody be blown apart, no one be eaten by these things, you're still talking to the wrong people. Unless, of course, you were to make a side contract. But then again, you would have to take that up with them.
Hang on. Before we can take this job, we need... There's a lot of things we need. But firstly, what's your motive here? What's wrong with these worms? It's their planet, isn't it?
Yes. And then Mona speaks up. Yes, it is their planet. And by the calculations I've been making, the specimens that I've taken over and been able to look over in the lab, I've realized that they've been here for a long time, but they're not as old. Their data, the mucus that they leave off in the tunnels that they burrow, it's not as old as the rock in this planet. Something brought them here too, from what we've been noticing. Some of the etchings and recordings that we found of ruins in the area. We've had geological teams go up and dig up findings and bring back samples of some of our soldiers that have been turned, for lack of a better term.
Into the
Elaborate
bugs.
on that?
We have had some of our geological team get too close to certain polyps, and the polyps explode, having a dust of some sort. When you take, if you go onto any planet and there's a weed of some sorts that has a little tuft ball on top and you blow into it, it's the closest comparison that I can find to it. These spores get into your system and they change you. You start crystallizing in a cocoon.
We've seen that before.
One of our diggers stumbled upon an old ruin that had these cocoons all over the place, and they started hatching, and there were people that have probably come here before, that have been here before us, fell out of it. They were confused. They didn't know where they were. They were asking what year it was, how long they'd been out, and then they started changing and attacking.
All right. So, sounds like it's in everybody's best interest for us to figure out exactly why this is happening.
It sounds like we should get you in contact with Dr. Speed.
Mona looks over at you. Dr. Speed?
Yes. Back at... And Saturday, like, nods
Oh.
generally in the vague direction.
Now I see. You're talking about Dr. Marconi Speed, aren't you?
Yeah, that's right.
eccentric.
Well, I don't know what all data we were able to collect, but we did take some map data of the tunnel systems. So that seems like something you guys might be able to benefit from each other on.
Interesting.
Well, and you said glyphs, right? Have you found writings on walls?
We have. We found systems of what seems like gathering halls, different areas from different ruins that have these scratches. And she looks over at the hollow screen, types something into a pad that forms beside her hand, and it brings up various pictures of these wall carvings that seem to be the same lettering and writing that you found that Miss Lockhart was scribbling onto her pages.
We've actually seen some of these before, too. I'd pass that data on to Dr. Speed, too.
Killer Be Killed goes, huh. Seems like even with half the resources that we have, they're still managing to stumble upon everything that we're finding. That's very interesting, Capcan. Very interesting indeed. And they look over to, and I don't have it today because I didn't have the voice modulator set up, but it's like a very like recycled kind of, it sounds like a bunch of bees buzzing when they talk, when they look over at the Czar. And the Czar goes, perhaps something that's ingenuity and willpower. When you harness that energy inside of you and you push and you push.
It's called being good at your job. I say deadlocked at Killer Be Kill.
I'd agree with that, and then cracks open one of the tiny little mini bar bottles.
And I toast Pinto with my whiskey glass.
Amazing. Heracles goes, so, seems that you're working towards something different from them, from the NSF. We still work for them. We're still under contract for them. So, unless we can have a talk between you and their head of their base, Captain Doyle, you hear Heflin go, barely a captain. I saw that wreck that she was driving.
Oh, buddy, let's not talk about who's a wreck here.
And just glares over at you, Stall.
Pinto just loudly goes.
Riker. Uno has started directly looking at you. All this while, Cinder, you've been tapping on your leg and everything like that. And you're pulling every file that you can from them. All the stuff that you're being shown on the screen and more. And you're going through and you're working and you're cutting alarms for them. You're gathering all this data. You're learning all you can. You realize that the network that you're pulling from is powering the Six Skulls Squad, their little base. You notice it's on the same power, but they have their own firewall in place. They have their own kind of security system, and like you kind of come across where there's some overlap, and like you get to places that are like kind of closed off, and it's like can't get here, can't get here. The Czar says, I am willing to meet with whoever we need to. I merely wanted you six to get your sergeant back, so you could all deliver a message for me.
All right, let's hear it then.
I wish for your Captain Doyle and I to meet at a neutral location in between our two bases. We will talk, come to an agreement for a ceasefire. If agreement cannot be met, we will leave as enemies and continue the skirmishes that we had ongoing. But no, we will utilize our full might to crush them. If you choose to do not deliver our message, then we shall hold Heracles here as a prisoner, in which we will have to talk to your Tolstoy Sonetta, the head of your Vulture Brigade, to make new negotiations for his release. I do not wish to have that happen to anyone, but I will do what I must.
See,
We can deliver a message.
yeah, we can, but you see, there's that whole bit where you guaranteed on the honor of the 12 noble families safe passage out for us and Heracles. Sounds a bit conditional to me.
If you maintained our rules, and we came to an agreement, that is what I was honor-bound and oath given to you, as Aristotle Kalkan, Czar of the NHC.
I'm gonna check the chat on the stream, and I'm gonna type, like, as the host of the stream. Any VIPs have an opinion on this, just to see who responds.
Please.
You see, there's a little bit of a wait, and people, like, there's a bunch of people being like, am I a VIP? Man, fuck this shit. Man, fuck the NHF. Man, fuck the, like, fucking both sides. There's some trolls talking, and they're, like, trying to initiate some, like, some shit posting in the chat, all that good stuff. And you see there is one person that replies, and their handle is Darkly Dreaming Doyle. And they say, I'll meet with the cunt.
I give Darkly Dreaming Doyle VIP status on the stream, and I just look back and go, "You've got an in."
Very good.
Is Una still staring at Wrath?
Vehemently.
All right, I'll just glance up, see if I can catch attention. I'm staring up at Uno, just waiting to see if I can catch attention, and then just sign right to them,
They nod.
and then look back. We good then?
We are good. Spasibo.
Then we'll be leaving with our man.
And his mech.
You're free to pick it up. It was being looked after at the Six Skulls headquarters. They shall leave it outside for you all.
I'll just stand up at that point.
Heflin stands up too, as you stand up, and is like staring right at you. And then Viroslav stands up, a mountain just looming over Heflin.
I'm gonna
Pinto stands up and will take out his corrective from his suit. It's like a med kit.
Yeah.
And slides it across to Heflin. Here, heifer for your face. This should patch it up.
Can you go ahead and make a roll? And if you have any skill triggers that could like embarrass somebody or anything like that, go ahead and utilize it.
I don't really have that.
Nothing like show off.
Yeah.
Okay, with grit, I rolled 20.
Okay.
We're gonna die.
Heflin Heflin is gripping this chair.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
I'm gonna get
And
you in trouble.
The chair bends under Heflin's grip. It's a metal chair, but he maintains composure. But you can see that like his face is turning red, and he's starting to have like tears well up in the corner of his eye that you can see. And he turns and he's like, "I'm over this shit. Come on." And he looks at Veroslav, and Veroslav goes, "Right away," and then looks at Stahl, and then nods towards Stahl.
And Stahl just wink.
Turns and walks out and follows Heflin. Mona just sighs, and Killer Be Killed goes, "I'm over all of this. I'll be in my quarters if you need me," and starts following after them. And Donald Pyro stands up and goes, "I'll be seeing you out there on the old track. All right, Karelia?"
Keep up, bitch.
And he goes, "Ah!" And like he just like makes like exasperated like sign and grabs like a cigarette pack from like his like he's got like it's like a frocket. It's like a tank top that has a frocket on it. And he just grabs like this soft pack of cigarettes and just like chomps out like 2 of them and then lights them with like his cybernetic arm, and a lighter pops up and he snaps and he lights both of them, and then he just like turns and then walks off. And like as they're all kind of leaving, that just leaves Mona kind of looking over the screen, and Aristotle has turned and is looking like turned his back towards you as like a "you can go now" kind of thing, and it's just Uno standing there, staring at all of you, and just like looks and like signs towards Stahl, "I'll be seeing you."
I'll just give a nice to meet you.
And they nod, and they look over at Riker one more time, and then just turn and walk out.
All right, I'm supposed to know Uno, right? I was supposed to know of Uno, right?
Yeah, you've heard of Uno as like this new person that's showing up on the mech scene. That their name is Uno. That's all you know, and that their call sign is like Hurricane. And it's like top of the line. It's Horus Technologies. Is who made their mech. Top of the line.
So I tell the crew, hey, I think that's Uno, like rumored Uno, that's been fucking shit up recently. I don't think we should play with that motherfucker.
Then it's really nice to meet him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
They seemed nice out of everybody.
It doesn't matter who they are. They're on the wrong side.
Oh. Well, you better look out, Riker. I think they are interested in you.
Riker's going to give a kind of brief glance over towards Stahl and then back down to the floor and say, "Well, I have other interests."
Not interested. Sizing him up. No, that wasn't. That was me. That was a Stahl like finish like responding to Saturday. Missed entirely.
Yeah, missed entirely exactly what Rat.
Just,
yeah.
Like no, not interested in him. Sizing him up.
Yeah.
Well, Rat, it sounds like you got bigger problems to deal with. They're gonna be so mad at you.
That was somebody who was looking at the person leading our crew and seeing what they make of them.
And Capcan turns and looks at the notice of hearing wrath, and then just goes, "Interesting." Looking at Riker. The doors open to the room, and you can see there are 2 of those exosuit guards outside, waiting to escort you away.
While we're being escorted, I'm going to kind of gesture towards Stahl to mute his stream. I'll kind of get close, not too close, but a little close, and whisper, "That was good work back there with that Bayard, fueling the distraction. I really thought you were gonna light the powder keg for a second."
I mean, if he didn't stop moving.
You mean to tell me I thought you were creating a distraction for ICEBOX?
You ever heard of multitasking? I'll unmute the stream and just look over to Cinder's like.
Riker's just gonna take 5 steps ahead.
You all.
Hey, oh, actually, Wes, I have a question.
Yes.
Is the Six Skulls, base, their biodome, connected to the main base, or do we have to pass through the cold in order to get to their base?
You have to pass through the cold to get to their base. They've requested that they
that's
keep
what I
it
thought.
separate from everybody else.
Okay, that's what I thought.
You are all escorted back outside. There is no grav lift to carry you back to your mechs. They are expecting you. They have done all the pleasantries that they need to do for you today. You are more than kindly to see yourself out, and you can see your mechs further down the stretch there as you can start walking towards them.
I'm walking with Cinder's. Go. You anything good? I'll have killed the stream at this point. You get anything good?
Of course I did. Also, maybe left a mess, but like an unnoticeable mess.
Oh, I'm gonna buy you a big, nice, shiny toy.
You promise.
Saturday's going to say to Heracles, so we gotta pass through all of that snow and bullshit to go pick up your mech. You want to ride?
Yeah, of course, sure.
And Saturday will touch their data plating and be like, hey, Astucius, you mind saving me some time and coming and picking us up?
Of course. Saturday. And Arcade stands up, and you can see some people further down the galley, further down the row, or kind of looking at your mechs, or whoa, as Arcade stands up and starts walking towards you all. You're making your way there just to consolidate some time. We're going to have Arcade has picked up Saturday and Heracles. You're making your way towards your mechs, everyone. And I need specifically Karelia and Pinto to roll me d20s for perception, for noticing something.
I have read a situation. Does that that
Perfect. Go for it.
12.
Noted.
Got him. 4.
Karelia, you got a lot on your mind. You're thinking of everything. You didn't realize that you would ever see Donald again. You never realized that guy could show his face after the embarrassment that he had caused himself. Pinto, you're getting into your mech. You are climbing aboard, and out of the corner of your eye, you note that you see there's a group of those elite guard that are just they're gathered nearby a pod. And you see the suits open up, and they step out, and before they can put on hats, you notice that 2 of them look just like Riker, but with the same haircut, flat top, and different eye color, and one of them looks like Stahl but clean shaven, flat top.
Now, like siblings or like clones?
Like clones, like exact replicas, just different hair color, different hairstyles, and they all three of them kind of like put on their hats and they walk into this pod as you're climbing into Snake 433.
Okay. Well, that's weird.
You all get into your mechs, power up, start walking towards those big doors. They open. There's the blast of snow and atmosphere. There's the two different temperatures mingling there. You walk out into the snow. It's starting to get closer towards evening time. You've been kind of going for a little bit. You can all kind of feel the pull on your body. And you make your way over to the Six Skulls place, to their base. Their doors open, and it's not like big blast doors. You notice that their dome is just fully encompasses their fortress, and like there's just walls around it, but their door is a part of the dome itself, and it just fades open, and you can hear music blasting from it. And you can see that they have like a beach volleyball pit set up. There's like an outdoor bar that has like torches and like big tiki drinks and everything like that. And you see there is a person that is driving a loader that has that's like piloting a loader that has like a trailer attached to the back of it. It's on treads, and it brings out this trailer that has minimally repaired, just enough to make sure that the thing does not go nuclear or explode in their base. Repaired Heracles' mech drop shot, and drops it, like dumps it in front of you all. And the person in the loader goes, thank you. This is for you. This is what I was told to make. This is for the Mr. Garza. And as I have done this, Cousteau has done their job, and they bid you good day. And the mechanical loader turns and then brings the trailer back in, and you can hear the music kind of fading as the door closes behind, and like the field comes back together, coalesces, and you are left out in the cold.
Saturday we'll have Arcade. We'll have Astucious have Arcade just like gently hand Heracles over to his cockpit.
He climbs in immediately and powers up, and it's almost like an old junker going the and it's like oh, it's not too far, on the ignition, but not too much towards the middle. You got to find it in between. And then finally it turns on and it creaks, and it seems that they have replaced the limbs that have been ripped apart. You see that like the wrist sword was covered in viscera, and it's still got like caked mucus from the worm all over it. And it seems that they have replaced the limb with like a junker like loader arm, and then junker loader legs, and that it's a pale comparison of the mech it was before. And he stands up and he goes, let's get back to base, and just starts hiking.
Yep. I'll follow suit.
Is there anything that any of you, are y'all going back through the tunnel, or are you hiking over land in your mechs?
Quickest route back, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, same.
I'll hop on, Riker will hop on the comms and say, great work, everyone, but we're not into the weeds yet. We got to get out of here as quickly as possible.
They're not going to pull shit until they actually have their meeting.
Yeah, with drop shot in the shape it's in, I don't know if we can go over the mountain. We may have to go back through that tunnel.
Fine by me.
I was gonna say we should go over land. We don't know what they've put in our mechs while we were gone.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I definitely don't think drop shot can make it over, so maybe whoever's fast going over the mountain, you could go and meet us on the other side and I could, me and maybe one other
Right.
person, we could walk with.
Wait, I want to call Malcolm.
You have all your comm channels
Good idea.
open, and you hear a
Good idea.
holy fucking shit! What?
We need a
What
ride,
the hell?
Malcolm.
You need a you need a ride. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Where the hell did you go? Where'd you all go?
We got Heracles back. Don't worry, he's come to us.
How the fuck did you get all the way out there? All right, I'll get Anatoly to get another dropship, and we'll ride out there and we'll have the lot of you hop on. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
You all go to a point, that cliff, so it's far enough away so that and go around, so that doesn't bring your dropships into airspace where they can get targeted by 50mm cannons.
Mhm.
And you'd see yours, the Vulture Brigade's dropship with the places so that you can attach your mechs on, and you see a slightly older model of the NSF's dropship with Anatoly piloting it, and they drop down and they allow you all to clamber on board. Is there anything that you're meaning to discuss or anything like that on the dropship back?
All right. So that was its own level of fuckery, but yeah, Doyle said she'd talk with them, and Cinder got some good shit.
Yep. We got some organizational structures, we got some security systems, we have a bunch of schematics to look at. So
All right. Job well done, I'd say.
Job well done.
Great work, Xbox.
Pulls alcohol out of his coat.
Offers it to everyone.
did what I do best. Read into the background and get some data.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I had a blast.
Yeah, I won't be drinking until we get back to base, but yeah.
Heracles is kind of like sitting by himself in the dropship. I'm imagining that like you all attached your mechs and you all got into the dropship. Like
Yeah.
yeah. He's kind of sitting by himself off in the corner, and he's looking at the bent up sniper rifle that has like the family portrait on it, and he goes, "That's not good enough for me."
What are you thinking then, buddy?
They can have their little ceasefire, and they're patting themselves on their back. You can have those humanity fucks finding what they want, and you can have those solidarity assholes doing whatever they think they're doing. They don't have the resources, they don't have the time, they don't have the manpower to be able to muster anything. I say we let them work together, but we make sure whatever the humanity fucks are looking for, they don't get.
I mean,
Agreed.
that's probably the plan.
Always my part of the plan.
Because whatever it is, it's only going to further their agenda, and I'm not interested in an agenda like that.
Yeah, what the shit were they looking for? Some like mystical math thing?
Yeah,
It was definitely vague. I mean, it was some hinting at some formula for something.
whatever it is, they're probably going to use it to make more people all be exactly the same. And not interested, thanks.
Like drones. Like
Or
a hive.
Rikers.
Sorry, what?
What?
You didn't see those guards look exactly like Riker?
No.
No.
There were like 4 of them, and there was a stall too.
What?
They one of me?
What?
Yeah. You know, they got out of their black armor as we were leaving. You guys didn't see that?
No.
Nah.
Nope.
Opens up another, just PINTO just drops that bomb. Just opens a beer, goes to drinking it.
Huh.
Saturday's going to leave them to think about that and go sit by Heracles and, like, Just put a hand on his shoulder and be like, "Hey, you weren't gonna leave any of us behind, so we weren't gonna leave you behind either. We were gonna fight that worm if that's what it took to get you back."
He looks up at you and he goes, I wasn't going to make it out of that thing if it wasn't for Stahl leaving a hole for me. I was gone. And you all, in the state that your suits were in, coming after me, and you see him kind of steal up a little bit, get back to like, because he's been kind of like relaxed and kind of like morose almost. You know, being digested by a worm will do that to you, and having your suit busted up will do that to you. And you see him kind of like stand up and like kind of steel himself a little bit, and he goes, was the stupidest goddamn thing each of you could ever fucking do. Half of you were covered in acid, busted up, out of ammunition, only a little bit of explosives, and you go right into the heart of enemy territory, start trying to do a rescue mission.
He's back, all right.
What are you gonna do? You gonna fight that worm? Huh? Can barely
Like,
get
put a
away.
bigger hole in it.
Hey, it's what you would have done if one of us got ate.
Maybe, but you know what? I'm in charge here, all right? Don't you fucking forget it, okay? So once we get back to base, I need each of you to give me about 5 laps around it, come back, then we'll figure about getting some upgrades for you all.
Tell you what, for you, I'll do 6.
This fool said laps.
Yes, sir. We'll do better next time.
I hate
Shit.
running.
I'll tell you, I'll do 6 if it makes you feel better. I'll do it shirtless, just to wet your whistle. Son of a bitch.
You see him smile, and he goes, all right, Vulture Brigade, let's get back. And we pull out of the dropship, see both dropships pulling into Daler's fingers with that big bowl that has been left behind, and there's now spotlights all around it. As you can see, there's a team digging around trying to see what they can find in it, and we hear some music playing over the background, and we roll to black. Credits roll. And with that, I would like each of the cast here to say who they are, where you can find them, and anything awesome they got coming up next. So let's go ahead and let's start reverse order here from how I'm seeing it. We're going to go like we're reading a manga. I'm going to go with Zach.
Hey everybody, I'm Zach. I've been Stall Empyrean. That's my Twitter handle down there in the bar. Tuesday nights, you can find me on ATL by night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're in our off season, but we're starting up with the postseason stuff. I'll be answering questions about my character along with some other folks this Tuesday. Saturday, I'm on Level Up TTV, playing Vancouver Adjacent by night. And then, you know, just whatever the hell else comes up. I'm in some mage game next month. Someone will probably tell you about it at some point. I might have some other game coming up whenever we decide to talk about it. We'll get there when we get there.
All right, and then next we have Zeke.
Briefly had Zeke.
Zeke go bye-bye.
Okay, we briefly had Zeke. Okay, so until Zeke comes back, go ahead, Derek.
I am the Phasing Octopus. My Twitter handle is below me. Everything else, I am the Phasing Octopus. But on Twitter, I am Phasing Octopus. On YouTube, I have my Shenmue playthrough going up. On Twitch, I'm just randomly playing games. And also making music on Twitch. Have some music coming out on DSPs later. Bandcamp, SoundCloud, everywhere. I have music everywhere. So
Perfect. And let's go with Oz next.
Hey, I'm Oz. On the show, I play Riker Choi, call sign Wrath, who's based on Scott Summers from X-Men. You can catch me on Wednesday playing in Solemn Vale with Wes. Very excited for it. So see you guys there. That's all I have to plug.
Goodness. All right. Well, we got all out of order here. It's fine. I'm gonna do some off the cuff.
I'm not out of order.
No, you're not. So you can go ahead and do your stuff first. There.
All right. I am Big Dad, mod on the Discord. Also, GM. Last night I ran the first part of my Delta Green game. That included lovely people such as Leslie, the Dixie Cochran, Crystal Mazer, and community member Puppy Lover. I have a game of Heart, the City Beneath coming up. You should definitely check it out. It'll start sometime in April. But more importantly, in April, not more importantly, just as importantly in April, Cypress and Steel, Mage 20th Edition Victorian Chronicle, starring such as Zak Vaudo, DJ Torador, Nobleman Nick, that runs our delightful Interstitial War game, and my wife, Regular Size Mom. Check it out.
Perfect. All right, and then Zeke, go ahead. Give your spiels.
The timing on that internet drop was impeccable. Wow. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Zeke. I've been Saturday Vesper. On Fridays, I play in Kingdom Hearts: The Interstitial War. I'm also the founder and president of We Are Games. We make immersive and interactive fiction. You can find us at the handle below my face. I'm also a mod here on Twitch and in the Carrion Comfort Discord, which is awesome, and you should check it out after the stream.
Perfect. And then last but certainly not least, let's go with Leslie.
Hey, so I'm Leslie. I've been Cinder Atlas or ICEBOX. Similar to Zeke, you can find me on Fridays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern for Interstitial War, the Kingdom Hearts game. Obviously, as Ben mentioned, you can find me next Saturday for the Delta Green game. And then I also do a podcast. I am on Hot Garbage Gaming. You can find that podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. We just did a Star Wars episode that I just published. I have a second part to that Star Wars episode about the Phantom Menace coming up. And then we just recorded another episode about video games. So check us out wherever you listen to podcasts.
Sick. Very nice. All right. I'm just going to run through some stuff. Check out our YouTube where we have all the archives of all our games. This is going to be a fun one to edit. Technical issues abound. So I'm going to be working through that. You can go ahead and subscribe, and that just helps if you ever want to check out any of our other shows, like Iron City by Night, or Kingdom Hearts: The Interstitial War, any of those things. This Wednesday, we have Solemn Vale, Run to the Hills. It is a 2-part series starting this Wednesday and next Wednesday that is using the Solemn Vale system, which hits Kickstarter on Monday, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. So go ahead, you can go ahead and look it up on Kickstarter, and you can have it'll let you know as soon as it launches. It's a great system light. It's a very rules light system that is inspired by the themes of British folk horror, like Witchfinder General, The Third Day, A Field in England, Midsommar, things of that nature. Very creepy, very cool, and I can't wait to play it with Oz, Casey, Calamity Casey, and Chad from Near Dark Society. Friday, we have Kingdom Hearts: The Interstitial War. It's going to be a very exciting and thrilling episode, especially after everything that happened last episode, so check that out. And then Saturday we have Delta Green. Sunday we have the next episode of this show. We have so much stuff coming up ahead. We've got Heart, the City Beneath, that is being run by Big Dad. We've got Comfort County High, a Monster Hearts 2 story that's coming out April 1st. So keep your eyes peeled for some of that. It is not an April Fool's joke. I will be playing Monster Hearts 2. So it's going to be very thrilling, very exciting. And then April Fool's Day, yes, exactly. And then, buy merch, YouTube. You can support us on Patreon. There's a lot of great tiers there. I think that's everything for me. I'm not going to hold any of you hostage any longer. It's pretty late now. Thank you, everybody, for working with us as we were working through technical issues tonight. I appreciate you all deeply. Thank you for following. Thank you for supporting. Hop in the Discord if you want to talk with any of us. There's always conversations going on. We're playing Valheim all the time. We're all hanging out. I'm stressed, too stressed to be blessed. All that good stuff. My name is Wes Franks. I'm Brother Wes. Listen to Idols. I thought you were showing off your Idols t-shirt. Listen to Idols. Listen to Sleep. And do not forget that comfort comes soon. Thank you all very much, and have an excellent evening. Goodbye.